So you go to the insert ribbon, and now this is our table. Now we all know that we use the table for to create, let's say, a timetable, a food menu, and calendar, and then order table. In fact, we use the table to get records, so many things. So we're going to look at the tables and then see how best we can try to use the table. So let's see. Now I click my arrow, and then you can see that we have a grid view here. A grid view. Now this is representing the number of columns and then the number of rows you'll be selecting. So if I should go down like this, you see that as I move my cursor down like this, you see that some small boxes are being selected. It is highlighting or making emphasis on some boxes here. And you see that as I try to hover, if I say hover, meaning just pointing or moving my cursor on the particular icon, you see that it will be previewing a table here for me, telling me that if I should click on the grid view now, this is the table I'm going to create. Okay. Now, if I should move it this way, you see that it is creating columns. So I move it this way to the ninth one, and now it is showing that my table is going to be 9 by 1, meaning that the one signifying a single row, and then, sorry, the one signifying a single row, and then the 9 showing 9 columns. So just one row being divided 9 times. So let's go back again. Now I move it to the 2, and I'm going to have 1 row, 2 columns, 1 row, 3 columns. Now if I should move it down, you see that I'm going to have 2 rows, 3 columns. If I shift back, I'm going to have 2 rows, 2 columns. So in that order, how you move it and then whatever appear on the page is what you're going to have. So when you move your cursor to the last ending point, let's say this is your last ending point, you only have to click on that to have the table placed on your page. So I click on it, and you see now I have my table here. Everything is here. So now let's try to see how best we can delete a table, a row, or a column. A row or a column. So if you want to delete a row, you select the whole row like this, and then you press the backspace. Once you press the backspace, it will ask you which cells do you want to delete. By default, it will select the very row or the entire column or the entire cell you've selected. So all that you have to do is you click OK or delete entire row. Then OK. It is deleted. Let me go back. You just have to select the entire row, and then you press the backspace. So, and then you select delete row, meaning you are trying to delete the entire row. So let's try to explore a bit and see. So supposing we select shift cells to the left, let's see what will happen. Have you seen it deleted everything, and then the cursor was placed here. So that is it. Let's try how to delete a column. You select the entire column you want to delete, then you press the backspace. It is gone. You see, this time it wouldn't ask you which cell you want to delete. It will just delete it straight. Let's see, what about you want to delete this particular row and column. You press the backspace and it will ask you what do you want to do? So let's say we click OK. You see that it has deleted the column and then the row here. Look at it very well. So some of you might come face to face with this problem. At a point, they would like to delete a table or a column, but then they will end up deleting just the table or the column and the row we have here. When it happens like that and it is by mistake, you only have to press Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Now, when you are done, you see that once you press the Control Z, it will reverse your action and then you can try to correct yourself. So remember, always when you make a mistake, you can press Control Z. That is, you put your hands on the control button and then the Z. So we can see that there are two buttons here. The first one is the undo. That is the Control plus Z. And then the second one is the redo, which is Control plus Y. Control plus Y. So let's move on. So now we've seen how to insert a table with a grid view. But then bear in mind, whenever you select a table from the grid view, you see the design ribbon activated, where we have header row, total rows. I mean, you have all these commands, so you can try to explore to see how it works. And then it can give you a template of a table that has already been designed. So if you want to use a table that has already been designed, you select one from here and you see, and then you see the shading. So we will take them one by one and then you see, and then we will see the border. And then this one, probably you try to take a look at it, and then this one too. Okay, so you can try the rest on your free time to see how it works. So let's give it a try. So now I have my table here. If I want to use the already designed template I have here, I will only have to select my table like this, or you can click on this box here. Once you click, everything will be selected. I'm talking about this 4 square arrow cursor here. When you click on it, everything will be selected. So you can come here and then you choose the default design you want. Sorry, the template you want. So you see that once you hover on the various templates or samples you have here, it will be displaying how it will look like at the background for you. So let's try. I'm going to select one and we will see. So I select this one and you see that by default it is taking this top row as the heading, and then here as where you're going to type, let's say if you have a timetable, you're going to type like the days. So there is it. And also we can try to modify the style we see here by clicking on modify. So that once you click on modify, you have the modify table. Okay, so you can edit whatever you have on the heading or the columns or anything. So you can just be clicking through to see how everything will work. Good. If you are facing problem, you can resort to your textbooks and then you see more examples there. So if you want to clear the table, you just have to click. Now the table is there, but we've cleared the design. Don't be deceived. This is the table. Once you click on the clear, you see that all the formatting, it will only clear the design, the format you've made to the table, but then it will not clear the table itself. Okay, so be careful. Now, let's try to look at the shading. The shading is more or less like using it to color the background of the table. So let's say we want to color this place. We only have to click on shading and then we choose the color we want. Okay, if you want to color the row, you select the row and then you choose the color you want. That is all. Good. So border style. The border means the various outlines. Talking of the lines dividing the table or the lines at the edges of the table. That is what we mean by the border style. So how do you want it to appear? You can just let it appear by clicking here. And now you see we have so many samples here. You select. But then remember, and then when you are done, you see this cursor. You see that the cursor will change to like a pen. So wherever you want that design you've chosen from here to take place, you just have to draw it on the line. So now I just draw it and you see that it is taking effect. Right? Good. So you don't have to necessarily select the table before you use the border style. So let me reverse it and see. Now I'm going to try to change the style by clicking here and then choosing a new one. So I click on this, and once I click on that, you see that my cursor will change to a pen or a painter tool. So you just have to draw it on the lines. You see that as you keep drawing, it will be imitating or it will be trying to duplicate the lines. But then it will not duplicate. By the time you are done, it will only apply the color to the table. So that is it. So let's go to the borders. Sorry. Let's go to the borders. Now this is how it works. You can see that from this command we are seeing here, you see that the top is dotted, the side too is dotted. But then there's a line down here, right? Good. That is telling us that how do we want the lines to appear? Either here or here. So let's try to go there and then see how it works. So let's say we select this table, the entire row here. If we want the line to only appear here, then we can come to this place and then select border at the bottom or bottom border. So let's try. I'll click here and you see that I'll select border at the bottom. You see that the border is only selected to the bottom. Let me try again. Sorry. You see that I'm using left border. Now look at it. The border has only been applied to what? The very row we selected. So try to be exploring to see how it works. Okay, so let's move on. Now I'm going to insert a table again. And then we look at how to expand a particular cell. Now, if you want to expand a particular cell, watch very carefully. You see that the cursor has changed to, if you want to expand the column, you see that the cursor has changed to two double vertical lines and then with two arrows, horizontal arrows. The arrow one being on the left and then one being on the right. So it is telling you that once you click on it, you'll be able to either expand or decrease the size of a particular column. Same way, if you want to expand a row, like a row like this, if you want to expand the size, the only thing you have to do is to just put your cursor on it, and once you see that it has changed to a horizontal and then a vertical arrows, you just have to click on it to expand it. That's all. So these are the few things you'll be needing whilst using the table. Now let me try to show you one more thing. You see, whenever you insert something, an object on Microsoft Word, it will give you either format ribbon or design ribbon and then layout ribbon. Now check something. You can see that we have a layout ribbon here and then another layout ribbon here. This layout ribbon is the default layout that comes with the Microsoft Word. And then this layout, the new layout that just popped up, is the layout to help you design or to manipulate the table you've placed on your page. So now let's try to delete this table and see if the layout will be there. You see, once we deleted the table, the layout and then the design ribbon that just appeared, vanished. Let's try to repeat it. Now, you can see that there's a design ribbon and then the layout ribbon here already. And then I'm saying with Microsoft Word, whenever you insert an object, it will give you a ribbon that will help you to manipulate the properties of the object you just placed on your page. So for table, once you place a table on your page, you will see a new design ribbon introduced here and then a new layout ribbon introduced here, which is of course different from the ribbons we have here. So don't be confused. Once you place a table here on your page, you have these two ribbons showing up. That is the design ribbon and then the layout ribbon. So the design ribbon is what we've treated earlier. Now let's look at the layout ribbon. The layout ribbon comes with so many commands. So you got to be exploring to see how they work. But then I'm going to show you few ones that really matters to the course. So let's say you can see that this column, this column is bigger than this column. Take critical attention to this. What I'm saying is you can see that this column is bigger than the rest of the columns. But maybe we want the columns all to have equal size. We want the columns to have equal size. What we can do here is to click on this command here, distribute columns evenly. So when we click on that, everything there will have equal size of a column. So let's try to have an example. So I'll select my table and then I'll click on this. Now, look at it very carefully. You see that the position of the initial column size starts from here to this point. So now we are going to use this one, the distribute columns, and see. You see that everything will be distributed evenly. So let's try. I try to select my table, then I click on this. You see that now everything is equally distributed. What about the rows? So let's say we have more rows here. Sorry. Let's say we have more rows here. Let's say we have more rows here. And then we have this one bigger than the rest of the table, and then this one too. If you want all of them to have equal size or equal or even row spaces, you only have to select the table and then you click distribute row And you see that now the tables are having equal sizes. The rows are having equal sizes. Now let's try to look at something. Now I'm going to type in my table and you see what will happen. So let's say I have come, no, subjects, periods, lectures. Okay, let's say this is what I have. You can see that the paragraph or the line spacing from where the text starts to where the border of the table is very thin. And you can see that there is a big space beneath the letters here. So why don't we position it in a very even way? So if you want your text to be in the middle of the row, then you just have to select that row, the entire row, and then you select this one. Let's align center left. Align center left. And then you see that this one is what? Align top left, meaning the text will be closer to the upper border. But then when you select this one, it will place it at the center, at the middle of the row. So let's try to click on it and see. You see that now the space at the top of the text is equally the same as the space at the bottom of the text. And this is a very good way to try and manage your text within a table. So from that being said, you can also try to place your text at the center of every column. So this is a column, this is also a column, and then this is also a column, and then this is also a column. So if you want the text to appear in the center of the various columns, you select the particular column and then you click on center align. So this one is selected, this one selected. So you can do that for the rest of the table. So please, mind you, try and then be doing whatever we are learning. Try as much as possible to be practicing. You pause, you watch the video, you pause and then you practice. You pause and you practice. That is how best you can get the skills. Okay. So let's move on. Now we are moving to directions. So let's say we are trying to treat directions of the text in the table. So this is what we are trying to treat. Okay, this is what we are trying to treat. So let's see. Before you can change the direction of a text, you also have to know that the direction of the column is going to change. So let's try to have one simple experience and see. So I'm going to click on text direction. Now see, once I click on my text direction, it will be changing the direction of the text, and it is affecting the column where the text is. So you can see this is exactly how the column was. The row size was like this, and then the column size was like this. But then once I click on the text direction, you see that it will change everything. You see? You see? So there's always a way to go by this. You only have to make sure the direction of the text matches with the column that you are using. So let's say we are trying to make the entire column 1 as a row so that we can change the direction of the text. We only have to merge cells. So this takes us to merging of cells. Merging of cells. And this is how we merge cells. Let's say we want to join these two cells. You can click on this command here under the layout ribbon, or we can just right click the cells we've selected. Right click, and then we go to merge cells. Whichever way it will work. Whichever way it will work. So let's try. I prefer using this one. So I right click here and then merge cells. Now you can see that there's no line dividing this row into two. It is now considering it as one whole row. That's it. Good. So we've also treated the merging. So this is how we merge cells on a row. What about how to merge cells vertically? Or how to merge columns. So let's say we want to merge this whole column and then make it as one column or a column with one row. So you right click on it and then you click on merge cells. Now you can see that we have only one row here, one row, one column. So what we can do is now we want to change the text, the direction of the text to the top. So like this. This is how we want to change the direction of the text from the bottom to the top. So we can just select the text, right click, and then with the text, we click on the text direction. And you see that here, you see that with the orientation of the text, we have one showing horizontal, which is by default the original one, and then this one from bottom to the top, and then from the top to the bottom here. So whichever direction you want, then you click on it to select and then you click OK. So I want from bottom to the top. I click on it and then I click OK. Now you can see that my text has changed to the top. So please practice it and then let's move on. So let's say we also want to split a particular table. You only have to click there by selecting the particular row and column, and then you click on split table. So you click on split table. Sorry, let's go back to the layout. I wanted to use split cell, which is this one, so I mistakenly click on this one. So let's move on. So supposing I want to split this particular cell into two or more, I'll just select the cell and then click on split cells. Now it will be asking me how many times do I want to divide my columns. So I can choose 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, many more. Then I click OK. You see that it will divide this cell many times, the number of times you specified it. Hope that is okay. So let's move on. There's another thing that you would have to look at, and all these commands are found in the layout ribbon. So we are just touching on the most relevant ones to this course. So let's look at eraser. So you click on the eraser, it will give you, your cursor will turn to a shape of eraser. So the line that you want to delete, you just point at it, check how I've positioned my eraser, then you click on it. Obviously it has deleted the line there. Look at it very well. And now it is showing dotted lines, meaning that when you print your table, you wouldn't see the dotted lines. There wouldn't be any line at all. So let's try to see our print preview. You see, this is our print preview. I hope you know the print preview, because if you didn't check the part 1, the lesson 1, try and go back and check. Okay, so you can see that when you check the print preview is only showing you exactly how your table or your work will look like when you print it. So you can see that there's no line at the top. No line at all at the top. Good. So it means that when you click on print, this is exactly how it is going to happen. So you click on the eraser to delete the line that you want to delete. Okay? You delete them. So let's say you can design it, you can create a table, and then as you want to design it, you can be using the eraser to be deleting it one by one. Let's use the draw table. Let's say we've drawn our table already and we want to try to create lines or divide them. Instead of we trying to use the split cell, we can go for the draw table and then we'll be using the pencil to draw the line, right? Now it is showing blue color because with the initial example, we chose the color blue. So if you want to change the color, you can just do so. You can just do so by clicking on the design and then changing the pen color to automatic. Then now whenever you draw, you have your table black. And if the size of the line is too huge, you can click there again and then you can choose the borderline, this one, or you can come here and then choose this one, right? So that is it. Now you can change the size of your pencil and then you can try to divide the lines like that. So you have so many ways to try to edit your table. So let's try inserting a new table, for example, something like this. Now let's say I have how many columns? One, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 columns here. But let's say when I was trying to select the columns, I made a mistake. So if I want to add additional column, the only thing I have to do is to select the column that I want to add. Then I'll right click and then go to insert column. And when you go to insert, it will ask you either to insert it to the left or to the right. Now this is what it means. If it is asking you to insert it to the left, meaning the page, the very column you selected, if you should place the column, it will be added to the left. If you should select right, it will be added to the right. This is how it means. So let's try to insert one to the right and see. Right, and it is there. So now you can do the same thing to the row. So let's try to check if we can insert a row below. So we right click, you go to insert, and then you see that we have insert row above and insert row below. So you just have to click on insert rows below, and that is it. Using the knowledge we've acquired so far, I think it will be better if you try it on something. So this is the assignment. Let's try this assignment and then we see how best we can get things moving. So you are to design a table with 6 periods, a timetable with 6 periods. The heading of the timetable should read in Sabah Presbyterian Senior High School and so forth. So when you read, you know that all the instructions are there. So you have this assignment as a PDF, which will be placed in the group. So give it a try.